Hey everyone, today I want to do a quick little showcase of our new info items add-on, which is now available on the Minecraft Marketplace. It's a very lightweight add-on which adds 7 new items, 8 if you want to include the guidebook, and the items display information on your HUD when you hold them in your hand. Whenever you spawn or load into your world, an item will be dropped on the floor in front of you and you'll pick it up. And this is the guidebook. So info items guidebook tells you all of the new stuff that it adds, including the recipes. So let's just read this real quick. So compass displays your cardinal facing direction and angle. Clock displays the time and the number of days that have passed. Field map displays your X and Z coordinates for the current dimension. So those 3 items are vanilla Minecraft items that have new functionality added by the add-on. Then we get the 7 new items. So depth meter displays your Y level and the best depth for ores. Speedometer displays your movement speed. Light level sensor displays the light level of your location. Biome sensor displays the name of the biome you're currently in. Now I do want to make a note before anyone gets confused that this shows the biome that you're in. It won't point you to a nearby biome. It won't show you where biomes are. It just displays the name of the biome you're currently in. The Sextant displays the current phase of the moon and its fullness. Mob radar displays the number of hostile and passive mobs, and the chunk mapper displays relative coordinates within each chunk. And then the recipes are over on the right. Let's take a look at the vanilla items first. So the compass, you can see it uses the action bar to display all the information. This shows the facing and the exact angle. It's very useful for figuring out which direction you're looking. Then the clock. It shows the Minecraft time, and then it shows the day number as well, and then I'll just keep going. So if I add, let's say, I don't know, just a bunch of time. Day 520. Cool. That's the clock. Kind of nice to keep track of time in your Minecraft world. And then the map, it just displays coordinates, which you could enable with a game rule, but it's kind of nice having it not on all the time. So that will just display X and Z of where I am. And if you let go of the current item, that will just fade after a few seconds. So those are the vanilla items. Now let's go ahead and look at all the new items that are added with the add-on. So first up is the depth meter. This is crafted with 4 copper, 1 redstone, and this displays the Y level that you're at currently. It will also show the ideal Y for different ores. So if I start going down, actually let me go into spectator. I'm still holding it, so it's still in my hand. You can see the Y goes down. Ideal Y for iron, lapis, gold, and diamond/redstone when I start hitting -52. And it also works in other dimensions as well. So yeah, this will show the ideal Y for nether ores as well. So you can see high up in the nether is good, and then as we get lower down it starts getting good as well. And for ancient debris as well, ideal Y is around 15, I think it was. But yeah, that's just useful for knowing what Y level you're at and which ores are around you. So next up we have the speedometer. So this is crafted with 5 copper ingots, 1 nether quartz, and 1 redstone dust. And this showcases the speed that you're currently moving at. So you can see normal walking speed is 4.32 meters per second, or blocks per second, because each block is a meter. If I'm sneaking, it's 1.3, and if I'm sprinting, it's 5.61. You can actually also use this to figure out Steve's terminal velocity, if you really wanted to, which I believe was something like 74 meters per second. Don't think we quite reached it, but it measures speed. One of the best uses for it is figuring out which of your horses is the fastest. So if I have this horse here, obviously this is very slow, 5.43 meters per second. At that point, you're better off sprinting. And then this horse is 10.68 meters per second. So obviously this horse is better. If the horses are slightly closer in their speed, it may not be as obvious which one's faster, but this helps you test that. So that's the speedometer. So next up is the light level sensor. So this is crafted with 4 copper ingots, 1 glowstone dust, 1 daylight sensor, and 1 tinted glass. And just as a reminder of how you craft the daylight sensor, because I always forget, it's 3 glass, 3 quartz, and 3 slabs. So then you get the light level sensor, and that shows the number for the light level where you're standing, so where your legs are. And this combines both the sky light level and also the light from light emitting blocks such as torches or glowstone, stuff like that. The number and the color will change as that light level decreases. So when it's not full brightness of 15, it will change to a slightly orangey color, and then below 7 it will change again, and then at 0 it'll change to red. Now red is where hostile mobs can always spawn, and then the orange between 1 and 7 is where hostile mobs can spawn under certain circumstances, such as when it's at night. You'll see the light level is still above 0 because that's the sky light level, but hostile mobs can still spawn. So that's why there's different numbers for that. Next up, we have the Biome Sensor, which is crafted with 5 copper ingots, 1 redstone dust, and 1 spore blossom that you can find in lush caves. And this shows the biome of the block you're standing on. So here, we're obviously in a meadow. We go over here, birch forest, river. There was one biome here somewhere. Old growth birch forest. So it's kind of useful in some scenarios where you need to know the exact biome name of a particular block you're standing on. It also works for 3D biomes where they don't take up the entire chunk. So up here it's a forest, but if I go down a bit more, it's now dripstone caves. So all the caves, biomes, deep dark, and all of that will show. It also works in other dimensions, such as the nether. If I go in the nether, I still have it in my hand, but I'm in spectator mode. Obviously, Crimson Forest, Soul Sand Valley, Nether Wastes, and Assault Deltas, and I'm sure if there was a Warped Forest, it would show that as well. It also does technically work in the end, but on Bedrock Edition, there is only one biome in the end, which is just called the end, so it'll just show the end. Next up, we have the Sextant, which is crafted with 5 copper ingots and 1 amethyst shard to get the Sextant. And this will show you the phase of the moon and its fullness. So right now it's waxing crescent. So if I set the time to midnight, you can see the moon phase there, waxing crescent. If I add a day to that, it's now in the last quarter, fullness 50%, waxing gibbous, fullness 75%, and full moon, fullness 100%. So the fullness of the moon obviously has effects on slime spawning, and I think some other stuff, like black cats or something, I can't remember, but that's just useful for knowing the phase of the moon. Next up, we have the Mob Radar. This is crafted with 5 copper ingots, 1 redstone dust, and 1 calibrated skulk sensor. Obviously, the calibrated skulk sensor is made with 1 skulk sensor and 3 amethyst shards, and then you'll get the Mob Radar. Now, this shows the number of passive mobs and hostile mobs within your simulation distance. So basically, how many entities are ticking in the world. One thing I haven't mentioned up until now is that all of these items that are added with the info items add-on can be equipped in the offhand. So this means you can hold it, still get the information displayed while you're doing other stuff, such as killing these passive mobs that are nearby you. So that's the Mob Radar. Next up, we have the Chunk Mapper. This is made with 5 copper ingots, 1 redstone dust, and 1 empty map. And then you get the Chunk Mapper. Now this displays the coordinates of the chunk you're in and the coordinates of the block you're standing on within the current chunk. That may be a bit confusing, but this one's intended for the builders out there who like things within chunks and stuff. So if I get this material here, so I'm holding it in my offhand. If I go into a new chunk here is where that chunk begins. So you can see 0, 0. So this is the boundary between 4 different chunks. So you can see the chunk coordinates change as I go between these 4 chunks here. So this is useful for marking out where chunk borders are for whatever reasons you may need to do that. So this is a different chunk. So then you can visualize the different chunks. And that's all of the items in the info items add-on. There is also the guidebook, which can just be made with 1 copper ingot and 1 book in any orientation. It's shapeless. But yeah, that's everything for this add-on. I hope you enjoy it. It's available in the marketplace. So if this is something that seems useful for you in your own worlds, then take a look. Info items add-on. Oh, and if you have any questions or problems with the add-on, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to reply to you. All right, thanks. Bye.